Just welcome. Ooh, no. I see you, Bernie, but I don't want to have to wear a hearing aid because people on the show can't hear out of their phones. And hold on, this is how we're gonna have to do this. Cause okay, this is the volume, Dave. So the button you're messing with right now, that's my earpiece, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna throw it out and I'm gonna get up and walk away. That is what it sounds like when everybody else is.
The the one that I'm adjusting is not your earpiece, it's
You
the
just turn that thing
microphone.
right up in my ear. Dude, don't trip with me. I see Bernie. So that is what I'm telling you. This can y'all hear it? It- all right, bring Bernie on. Just y'all, this is what it is. I don't. Hey Bernie, how you doing?
Why you always giving Dave a hard time?
Because he don't listen. It's that simple. It's that simple. If someone is telling you their point of view of what's going on and what they hear and what they don't hear, either you're gonna take that person at their word and you're gonna do what's necessary,
And
or you're not.
that should go both ways.
I'm telling you, it really. Then you tell Linda Nichols and Sherry them that. So, ladies, he just bit y'all out and pretty much said y'all liars.
No, I did not.
What did you just say to these
I'm
women?
trying to fix the situation, and it would be nice if somebody helped me fix the situation instead of just, no, that's not it.
It's the chat room. The people in the chat rooms are actually watching the television or their phones or something like that. So as you're messing with the
Is this getting louder in your ears?
hey Bernie, how you doing? Welcome to
I am I am great. You always put me in a good mood.
a show over after Bernie. Okay, we're not. Hey Bernie, that hurts. It's so loud.
What?
Not
Me?
you, no, Dave.
Oh,
How you doing,
well,
Bernie?
I'll talk. You know I'm loud. I sound like a foghorn most of the time when I talk, so I'll try to moderate a little bit.
Oh well, we're just gonna keep talking. That's much better than him turning it wide open, but I can hear you. So, what do you feel about President Donald Trump's 100 days? This is what they're saying. This is what the libtards are out there right now. Lamestream media is everybody's talking about President Trump's 100 days, and of course, still talking about the Pope's funeral.
Well, first of all, you know I'm happy about it, and I want to talk about that. But just a few seconds ago, you were talking about that J.D. Prisker fellow over in Chicago running for office,
Yes.
and he ain't running nowhere.
You don't think all of them gonna throw their hats in the ring? Every last one of them is gonna throw their hat in the ring for President of the United States of 2028. They don't have anyone.
He ain't he ain't running and he ain't throwing. He ain't doing nothing but running to a barbecue.
I truly believe that. So with him being like a billionaire, just a billionaire, how condescending do he sound every time he want to open up his mouth and try to talk for middle class, poor people, or anyone else other than his higher social status friends?
All I know is the people in his state in Illinois are very upset. You go to Chicago and they are fighting mad. And all those black people that voted for the status quo, they wish they could take their votes back. So what is Prisker doing for them? I don't think a whole lot.
Him and Johnson, none of them. But
Mm-mm.
when you looking at these big major cities in Chicago, I mean in Illinois, what is like are the other counties sort of like upstate New York, where you have a lot of red, a lot of conservatives, or is the majority of people that live in Illinois are just Democrats?
My impression, now I don't know a whole lot about Chicago. I've only passed through there a couple of times and I wasn't happy with what I saw. But my impression is that that whole state is just Obama light. So they are just a lot of Democrats don't care. They're almost as bad as Maryland.
Ooh,
Almost.
speaking of Maryland, Mr. Myrick came down to the NRA convention over the
My boy
weekend.
John.
Yes, he did. He walked, when I tell you, I had to leave him alone. Him and Marco, I said, y'all going out there. David's going to get you some B shots, go do some interviews. He did more interviews and shook more hands on the NRA convention floor. And I said that was a great look, very great look for him to come down to show the citizens of Maryland that he's very serious of becoming their governor and combating what y'all got up there now, that's a hot mess. How in the world do you go from a budget surplus to almost $3.8 billion deficit?
This fool, Wes Moore, is trying to break us. I don't understand why somebody with $50 million in the bank would want to be governor of Maryland, and where he got his money from is another story. But the issue of the day is, first, I want to be positive. John and Marco are good friends of mine, and I'm so thankful. I saw a gang of pictures, so I'm just like all jazzed. I wish that I could have gone down there, but I got a brand new grandson that
Congratulations.
requires. Hey, thank you. And so I just couldn't leave. We can't go nowhere. And I told you I was going to try to get down there, but the calculations didn't come together. The fact that he was going to be born right around the same time. So he was born around the NRA convention. That means he's going to be a gun owner. And I'm going to teach him how on a 22 when he gets old enough. But that's another story for another time. I could not leave if I'd have wanted to. But I was so glad to hear that John and Marco and so the crew were down there. Mary was down
Yes.
there, all our buddies, and everybody was there but me. So I feel bad about that, but I'm glad that you guys had a good time. I'm very disappointed that you didn't win, but you gave it a hell of a shot.
Well,
I mean, nobody tried.
after the fact, I'll kind of tell you, Dave, down. I would tell you why I didn't win, but you know what? I said what I had to say to the person that wrote that article. I went straight to the horse's face, and I pretty much said what I had to say. But at this point, as I'm looking back at it, and I told Dave Saturday, I really don't want to be. I don't want to be the board of directors if that what I saw behind the scenes and everything that is going on behind the scenes, and then having to sit there and listen to that for 12 to 16 hours in some of these meetings, I would go crazy. I am more comfortable with going around the convention floor talking to everyday American citizens, vendors, different things like that, grassroots, trying to build up the membership of the NRA and get that message out there. The rest of that stuff, that's not me. That would never be me. So as Marco advised me, he said, if that's not where you think you will be comfortable at, don't do it. He said, because that would stifle you. So growing the NRA, telling people about their gun rights, showing them, teaching them, that is where I'm supposed to be. All the rest of that squabbling, as I said, I had some choice words for a couple of people.
Well, I will always remember when you addressed Congress. And that's the first time I'd ever heard of you. And I'm like, who in the world is that? And why can't we clone her? We need about 5 of her. So you changed a whole set of attitudes in the United States because a black woman in the NRA, well, that was almost unheard of. And, you changed a lot of people's attitudes. So, pat yourself on the back. And personally, I just believe that you would make a great commissioner or whatever it is you were running for. I'd vote for. I did vote for you. So there you go. So
Well, I appreciate
bottom
it.
line is that maybe next time. But, we just got to keep fighting the grassroots fight. That's what this whole thing is about. And I'm with you.
Well, what about this? Okay, I'm going to... What?
Well, think of it this way. If you
Yes.
had won, you'd have been stuck down there still even today.
Yeah.
You'd have been down there 16 hours yesterday, and you've
that's
been
not
stuck
me.
down there today as well.
That's not me. But I got to ask you about this Indian fellow. The one that is putting the impeachment, 7 different articles.
With the
of
funny
it.
hair?
Yeah. Number one, yes, talk about him before I start talking about making English your number one priority, because I don't go ahead and talk about the guy.
Until I heard that he was trying to build some impeachment movement that will never, come to fruition, by the way. I never heard of this dude before. I don't know if I can pronounce his name. And more importantly, he got the weirdest hair. I mean, you talk about Trump's hair. This fool. I mean, he looks like he got a Brillo pad on his head. Well, in that, I'm not going to cuss on your show.
Oh, I cuss all the time.
I'm no, look, this guy has about as much chance of impeaching Trump with a Republican Congress as I do of throwing this house.
Why is it the illegal? Well, no, he's not an illegal. He wasn't born here. He's not a natural born citizen. But he's a naturalized citizen. So it's just like him, Omar, Taliban, all of them up there. all these foreign-born Americans. I'm at this point. I don't think if you wasn't born in America, you hold no political office.
Well, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. But the issue of the day is that, look at Ileana Omar from what, Somalia?
Yes.
Now, how in the world that the Somalian people send enough of their people over here to the United States and they all happen to concentrate in Minnesota enough to elect their own congresswoman?
Not
How
only
did that
that, but to
happen and
have
who
a
helped them?
whole entire city, have a whole it's just like what's getting ready to happen down there in Texas, where you have
That's
this.
right.
It's gonna happen. What you see in Minnesota, and you see all these different places that have this large conglomerate of a nationality or another ethnic group. Sooner or later, you're gonna start having Sharia law inside of America. You're gonna have those secret police, just like China had the secret police all around America. We know that the Muslim faith and what they stand for. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna apologize. And we know with all of those hundreds and hundreds of acres that they bought down there in Texas, it's not for the Americans' good.
Imagine you go try and doing that in Pakistan or Afghanistan or Iran or wherever they come from. That wouldn't work. You can't just go to somebody's country and buy property unless you come to America, and then you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want to. And we're going to have to put a stop to this in a hurry because
think
Sharia
so.
law is nothing to play with.
No.
It's kind of funny. Like, I would say it's like the chicken rooting for Colonel Sanders. These gay people over here rooting for Islamics over in Gaza and all that sort of stuff. And I'm a witness to the fact that they throw gay people off the top of buildings over there. They don't play that. But over here, gays for Gaza. What kind of craziness is that? Makes no sense to me. And back to this whole Sharia law. If you're going to do it and try to do it in Texas, I don't think it's going to work too well. So there's a whole lot of my friends down there. I don't think they'd put up with it. But we'll see. We'll see.
Number one, they shouldn't have their own communities, just like you say, a foreign national, or even if you was not born in America, should not be able to own land. I'm just going to throw it out to you. It's just like how they allowed China to come over here and take up our processing plants, our chicken poultries, our pig, our pork manufacturing, all of this stuff. You have allowed a foreign entity to come in and have who can, corrupt the food supply chain at any moment.
National security.
Why? Why can't we fix that?
Because the people in charge don't want it fixed. If they wanted it fixed, they would have fixed it. Now, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, as you know, but if somebody was trying to reduce the population, you get a hold of the food supply and shut it down. That's old military tactics right there. And so the issue of the day is most people don't pay attention. They're busy watching Jay-Z and Beyonce and basketball or whatever. Me, on the other hand, I'm looking at the food supply. I'm looking at the electricity supply. I'm looking at the fact that most, grocery stores have a 3-day supply of food, just-in-time logistics. And, we just went through COVID. Did we learn nothing from that? You don't let somebody else control your resources.
Well, we got to think about it. During that time, Donald Trump was in office, and he woke up a lot of people into the fact that we wasn't getting 90% of our medical supplies was coming from China. Our medicine, all of this stuff. And now all these people that wear the red bottom heels got that, that tell you ain't got none of that Louis Vuitton. Did you know China makes all of that stuff? Ships it to Spain, ships it to France. They slap their logo on it and then charge Americans obscene amount of money for shoes, pants, pocketbooks.
200%.
I was shocked. And then everybody's fussing about a tariff war, but not understanding how much China already puts on our backs to get their stuff over here. And since it's poorly made anyway, they was just flooding our markets.
It's not just China. The whole world relies upon the United States to be the feeding trough for everyone. And that's why they're all upset, because everybody, you saw that chart that Trump put out a few weeks ago. Basically, the entire industrial world has a trade surplus with the United States, and it has to stop. We can't afford to continue to feed and clothe the world at our expense. And, we got a lot of problems here. Matter of fact, here in Maryland, in Baltimore, an article just came out the other day. Maryland, Baltimore is rated as the dirtiest city in the entire United States. You can believe that?
Oh, wait,
They
wait,
got
wait. When you say dirtiest, wait, I thought did somebody come up
trash
there?
pickup.
Yeah, I thought somebody came up there. Scott Pressler, as a matter of fact, didn't he turn it down? Didn't he clean up a couple of at least blocks?
Yeah, but Scott came in and did some wonderful stuff. But the issue of the day, the reason he came here is because there's trash everywhere. There's, the wonderful and industrious mayor is going to raise prices to use the landfills, and everything here in Maryland is going up. They just passed the largest tax increase
Mm-hmm.
in the history of the state, and as you just alluded to, here it is, the last governor left with a $3 billion surplus, and now we got a $5 billion deficit, and they're raising taxes like crazy. So Westmore is not helping us, and they're trying to build him up to be the next presidential
Yeah.
candidate, and we need to pay attention, especially black folks, because no matter what, we're gonna get the short end of the stick. But anyway, did I say that out loud?
No,
I
you got
shouldn't say
every right
stuff
to
like
it
that.
because you think we would want somebody as a resident in evil or president of the United States that is not looking in for the welfare just for his own constituents in his own state. So, yeah, Westmore, this is his first time, and he sucks
Mm.
and he blows right about now. With Mr. Mayrick said, 76% of even Democrats in Maryland are sick and tired of the governor that's sitting up there now. It's always going to be kitchen table issues. If you can't eat,
Yeah.
you can't pay no bills, you're out of it. It doesn't matter about the gay rights, abortion, illegals, any of that. I'm telling you, when desperate time comes for desperate measures, and when you can't put food on your table, and you have to do all that he's about to break the citizens of Maryland, y'all gonna have to look for another option. And I say that's Mr. Myrick.
Well, like I said, I'm a good friend of John. John's a good friend of mine. Marco, we were at a local Howard County Central Committee meeting just the other day together and talking, and I try to advise them wherever possible. And, just good people. I can vouch for both of those guys, and just wonderful people, and I wish them well. Matter of fact, I think I'm supposed to go to one of their events tomorrow. But the issue is that we got to do something about Westmore. We're going to be all bankrupt, and it's going to break down to where we're all going to have to leave Maryland. They're trying to chase us all out of here, and businesses are leaving like crazy.
Yep.
If not mistaken, I don't know if they have, what do they call that, Old Bay seasoning,
Oh, I like
around
Obey.
it.
I love Obey.
Well, that stuff was made here in Maryland.
I didn't even know Obey. Y'all put Obey on Obey. I didn't know any of that until he started talking about the policies and how you're getting like McCormick seasoning, Obey,
Yeah.
these huge businesses that's been
Leaving.
in. What is that going to do to the common folks up there? And then you got to look at from what he was telling me, and I believe him. A lot of people in Maryland actually work for the federal government.
Yes, we are a bedroom community. I mean, here in Howard County, where I live, I mean, a lot of people work for the federal government, and Westmore is not bringing industry in, which is part of what he's supposed to be doing as governor. Instead, they believe that they're just going to, let the federal government pay all the bills that people who all work for the federal government and drive into D.C. every day. Well, now that Mr. Trump is reducing the size of the federal government, it's putting a real hurt on the people that live around here, and we should not be that dependent. Big companies like McCormick Spice that have been here for a long time should not be forced out. And all they got to do is go down to Virginia and continue on with their operations. And, Pennsylvania's right across. I mean, I could be in Pennsylvania in an hour. Easy. I could be in Virginia in an hour. Easy. And I just think that the Westmore and his crew of misfits are short-sighted. They don't understand economics, or maybe they just want to drive us all out and create a bunch of 15-minute cities. And that's another story for
Ooh.
another time.
Have you heard?
Mm.
Is it rumors up there about the 15-minute cities? I mean, where would you
Well,
go?
they're trying to turn. Looks like they're trying to turn Annapolis into one. They're hiring very, very liberal politicians. They're pushing people out, and they even outlawed, if I'm not mistaken, gas powered leaf blowers that you might use in your yard. I mean, let's just say you got a big yard.
Yep.
You can't bring a cord or a battery. That's not going to get it done when you're talking about, hand tools and electronic things like. You got to have some gas power. But electricity is not going to get it done. The power is just not there. But they have just outlawed all of that. They've outlawed a lot of electric motors in Annapolis. So there's a lot of crazy things going on around here. And we, as citizens, need to pay attention because our rights are gradually being taken away. We can't have that.
Did you see the file that came out early last week where I think it was the New York Times or New York Post? They was talking about President Trump alluding to that DEWs has been used inside of American borders. As he said, we have actually the technology and the capability and have been using DEW inside of America for a while. And then all of a sudden,
DEW, you got it.
direct energy weapons.
Oh, Lord, now you're going to get me in trouble.
It's not a conspiracy if the president is out there talking about it. It's not a conspiracy when you call in all these people. Yeah.
The president is the classification authority. He can make anything classified or not. On the other hand,
he's what is it? Operation Crossfire. He has been declassifying a whole bunch of files that most people said that was, conspiracies way back then and picked on us and said we was liars. Now it's Maui far-fetched. Now it's New Jersey far-fetched. It's North Carolina when those fires was popping up all over the place. Is this stuff so far-fetched? Or are they going to keep trying to say it's arson or naturally made?
First of all, it's not far-fetched. And I can tell you that anything you can possibly think of within reason, our government is capable of doing. DARPA has capabilities that you probably wouldn't believe. And I'll just leave it at that.
Well, they still saying chemtrails aren't real. What?
Look, look, somebody gonna be coming after me in a black van, and I'm gonna be disappeared. You gonna get me in trouble. You know that?
Well, they need to quit talking about it. This is not the Men in Black. Unless you in a major city, it's just like let's take the weather balloon. The weather balloon that happened to be psyops from China that came down from Montana and way up there in the Black Hills of the Dakotas and decided to just trollop all over our national airspace while they was taking and making, satellite images, tapping into military and industrial, sites. They did all of this when we said we thought it was China. We was called a liar. The Biden administration said it was not them, and come to find out, if it wasn't for the Trump administration, we wouldn't have found out that yes, there was a Chinese spy plane, balloon. That's crazy.
It's absolutely insane, and it tells me what the Biden administration's priorities were. Now, mind you, I worked for them for quite a while, and I've been around the block a lot. I've seen a whole lot. It just seemed like maybe somebody was paying them off. I don't get it. But things that made them upset seemed odd to me, and things that they just let pass seem odd to me. Being that I once worked at NORAD, I mean, they saw that balloon well before it hit American airspace.
Okay,
well
Berney.
Before it hit.
Somebody want to know what's beyond the ice wall.
What ice wall? What are you talking about?
Come on, what you talking about, Berney? What is beyond the ice wall? Come on now. Come on in Antarctica. There is no way
I've never
we
been
got
to Antarctica.
You ain't heard of the ice wall? It's been coming out a lot for the last 6-7 months that people are piercing the ice wall down there in Antarctica, and that's why there is a pact with all of the civilized governments for us not to go down there and tap. You ain't never heard that?
I will say that it is
Was that
very
in Game of Thrones?
unusual.
No, it's all right then, y'all laugh, but it's unusual. Okay then, hey Berney.
It's very, very unusual. Yes, there you go. So yeah, there's a lot of strange stuff going on in this world. I will say that we are in the age of Aquarius, and there's spiritual things going on that I believe in. And there's a time when we're not going to be able to lie to each other, and their lies are all flying out. I mean, speaking of lies,
Yes.
I mean, look at what's going on with Shannon Sharp. Have you heard?
Of course, I've dang go heard about Shannon Sharp. He should have listened to, Monique. Hey, Shannon Sharp, you need to get an auntie. He should have got an auntie, like he said. He didn't want a female.
Grown woman.
He said he
Don't.
wanted to live his wages. He wanted not his ages, but his wages. So you know what? He gonna choke out.
That little girl he was with was like 10 years younger than his youngest child.
It's an Instagram model. It's like Bill Belichick right about now with that hottie patati. It's like everybody's like, oh my God, what does she see in her? Let me count the billions. But Shannon
Let me
Sharp,
count the money.
hey, he put his own self in that. Hey, and then she was a fans only or only fans. He should have left on over there. But Shannon Sharp,
Look.
he did it to himself. I thought he was
Look,
gay anyway. So there,
Say what now?
I thought he was gay. Well, he
There's
was
a lot
the
of
one that
weird
got
stuff
caught
going on
on
in this world.
live, accidentally having sex with a man. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't know if he thought he should record himself and press live at the same time, but them dry knuckles, that was a man. So, man on man, that's gay.
You just love embarrassing me and seeing that look on my face, don't you?
Because I know you got to go to Newsmax and you can't say this.
No, I can't.
But Shannon Sharp, and P. Diddy.
Oh, Lord. I never did like him.
He is acting like Joe Biden. That is what they're coming out with now. You can tell he's saying his mental capability. He's pulling a Weinstein. He's pulling Jello pudding pop and Weinstein. He just going blind. He blind, I tell you.
Bill Cosby. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He's just trying to get out of some mess. He's not gonna get out of this one. He done messed up. He will never see the light of day unless it's in the prison yard.
Listen, man. Only thing I can't even explain to you. If you still want that life and you want to be caught up and you want to sleep with 19, 20-year-olds and you pushing 60, you get what you get. Now don't get choked out. Don't get choked out. That's all I can tell you. And your booty cheeks shouldn't be $25,000 a piece. And stop letting people like stick stuff in there that don't need to be. That's pretty much all I can tell you is.
These are the days when people had decorum and you didn't hear about these things.
I didn't ask,
you know,
but I watched. I heard. I mean, why he snitch on himself? My fellow Americans, my name is Shannon, and I slept with a hoe. That's all you had to do. Just now. Well, she wants your wages.
Let me tell you something. How does Cat Williams know everything? He's putting everybody down. You know, that's my boy, by the way.
Because when you don't give those type of people a chance, it's just like Donald Trump. All right, then fine. We will go ahead and stand in the corner, and we will take notes from this day forward. But like Cat said, sometimes you got to say no. Okay, you just gotta say no.
You just got to say no.
And Shannon Sharp, I guess he was a little bit too horny. And why couldn't be a black woman? I mean, damn, dude, stop it. Why you just making good size? It's a black fan. I don't know what the hell wrong with Shannon Sharp. He can't get himself out of this one. That's all I'm saying.
And no, he's in bad shape. And, I've always been a big fan of him and Sterling. And, they're from my part of the country, that sort of thing. But, I can't root for this. I can't co-sign on this one.
Oh, number one, I hope you ain't gonna co-sign with nobody that sleeps with somebody 30 years they junior. You know what? He just nasty. I don't think it's his first time. I don't think that's Shannon Sharp's first time. No, remember the last time he was for sexual harassment. They just pretty much switched him around. But I think to a point, a lot of these men, high-powered, valued men, think that everything is a playmate, and sooner or later they must have forgot about OJ and them. So if you're going in there and you ain't listen, if y'all don't believe in groupies and y'all don't believe there's women out there that poke holes in rubbers, if you don't believe that there's women out there that will trap your ass, if you don't believe there's women out there that will crush your career, then you stupid. I mean, there you go. Just hey, and listen. She flat out
said she wanted a baby. She wanted a big black baby. That's what she said.
I wonder what she was talking dirty to him like that. Yes, sir, daddy. Yes, sir. I just, and he ain't cute. I mean, his bank account was, but now that's gone. I mean, and Bugsby ain't finna step down. Bugs, that attorney.
No, he gonna get that money.
He's the male Gloria Allred. That's every time I say Bugsy in town, I be like, yep, it's true. He ain't finna pull nothing until he got the proof.
There you go.
We ain't talking about President Trump. Okay, then we got 2 minutes left. How do you think President Trump did for the first 100 days?
I think that I'm a big fan of President Trump. I was in his first administration and I was in the second administration. And the bottom line is he has cleaned up the border. You can't get a pin through there anymore. And now this Trendy Agri, he went into the guys went into Denver and broke up a nightclub and
Yes.
just doing all the right things and right moves. And the economy is kicking around and people are bringing jobs here. So I give him an A plus.
Way to go. Way to go. Now, this is the only thing I can say negative about that. Stop writing EOs, executive orders, and get Congress off their tail to make it actual laws.
Okay, I get that. But most of those people in Congress are weak. That's why well, I shouldn't say that. There are some that are good, but, they need a leader, and we have a leader. The issue of the day is we got to get as much done before the midterms as possible. And so I see him just making it go. I can see him aging right now because he's not getting any sleep, but he's doing what needs to be done, and that's what a leader does. So I'm just so thrilled about him. Again, I give him an A plus. I know I couldn't do any better.
All right. Dave, what you got to say to Berney?
Well, all I was going to say about this was that President Trump is obviously a leader. He can't help it if the Republican Party, the National Republican Party, or Republicans in Congress are a bunch of wussies.
I don't even think it's
a good
Congress.
word.
I think it's the Senate. Senate Republicans.
Senate, House of Representatives,
Yes.
the National
Globalist.
Party, your
Yes.
state party. Pretty much they're all a bunch of wussies.
There's still a bunch of globalists in there, and they need to be found out and removed.
Well, hopefully with Pete, Cash Patel, and the rest of them getting ready to start doing polygraph tests on all of the government officials and workers. Hopefully that snake and the mole soon will be flushed out. Cross your fingers. But unless they do a clean sweep, there's a whole bunch left that, James O'Keefe need to do an undercover video, because they're in
Love that guy.
all of them. They're in every last department. And thank God, let's say this, the guy that decided to be a jerk and steal Pam Bundy's pocketbook out of a restaurant was an illegal alien. So that is
How
one
dare
way ticket. He just wanted to get deported.
Dumb.
How you just gonna just drop your coat, pick it up, not knowing there's cameras everywhere, and you an illegal? Well, bye. He going back to El Salvador.
There you go. They can't move fast enough.
Thank you so much, Berney. We're at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for coming on and always being there. Appreciate it.
Love you guys.
All right, everybody. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.